Howdy, it's Tubalcain again from Illinois. Thought I'd spend a little time today telling you something about the different tool holders that we use on small lathes like you might have at home. Now, many of you might have the quick change tooling such as a Loris and so on, and I'll talk a little bit about that some other time. But for now, this is the affordable tooling that has traditionally been used on these lathes. And the three most common tool holders are the straight and the right and the left. And these are available in different sizes, and they will be proportional to the size of your lathe. But all the smaller lathes, 10, 11, and 12 inch, will use this. And they hold 1/4 inch square high-speed steel tool bits. Now if you have a larger lathe, then you'll get the next size up, and it'll probably hold either 5/16 or 3/8. So you're using what is proportional to the size of your lathe. Remember now that they need to point toward you to determine whether they're right or left. So this one curves to the right, and it's a right-hand turning tool, and a number 0R was the Williams number for that. Williams and Armstrong are the two biggest makers. So that's a right hand. You won't use that very often. Matter of fact, you might as well throw it away. Here's the left hand one, and that's that's a Sears Craftsman, and they don't have that designation. They just got one of their catalog numbers, but that's the one you probably use the most often, and the straight one is also a nice one. Now for other operations, there are cutoff tool holders, and this one bends a little bit to one side, and it happens to be a ace tool holder, and there's a 3/32 wide cutoff tool, or parting tool sometimes it's called. They make these in straight also, and in different sizes and different widths of the cutoff tool itself. This can be a useful tool. Also, it can be a real bugger if it slips on you. These are knurling tools, and this particular one is just like a medium, and you can get different rollers for it, but it's a medium, and it does move up and down a little bit to center itself on the work, self-centering. And this other one here has 3 sets, a fine, a medium, and a coarse, and use whichever one you want, and just rotate it to the position that you would need it. These are kind of expensive, and I don't do a lot of knurling. You know, knurling is really hard on the centers of the lathe, and particularly hard on the screw of the crossfeed, the screw and the nut. Very hard on it. This was covered in one of the other videos that I made, and it's a Gooseneck threading tool. It has no other purpose than that, and I've talked about that more in another video. Here's another tool holder. This is a 60-degree threading tool, and it can be, when it's broken, you just sharpen on the top and rotate this up to a new position. There are all kinds of tool holders made for holding boring bars. This is kind of a big one here, but it's also made in other sizes. This is probably the size that you would use. I don't particularly like these, but this can be used in 2 different ways. You can, and there's your boring bar held in there, and you can loosen that up, take the boring bar out, and flip this over and hold it in a different manner, you know, should the need be. All different size boring bars will fit in there. There are many other types of boring bar holders. I don't have any anymore because I do most of my boring with the Loris type tooling. Finally, here's one other specialized one. This is made by the Dumore company. It can be held in your tool post, and it would hold the tool post grinder, which goes in here and is clamped down, and that would be used for grinding centers or doing other grinding work on the lathe. Okay, I've covered some of the basic ones here, the more common ones. There are probably many others, specialized ones that are made. Perhaps some of you have those and use them. But the 3 that I mentioned first are the most important ones, and you can live with those even if you never do own any of the other ones. This is Tubalcain saying so long for now.